Hey everyone! So it's time for another countdown post and video for the My Favorite Things July release. And for today's card, I'm using the new Pure Innocence Happy Banner stamp set and the little coordinating dynamics. Last month they started releasing a matching set of dynamics for the little Pure Innocence images, which I love because I usually trim them out anyway, and 99% of the time I would trim them out with a border, so having the dynamics just makes my life easier. So I had die cut some heavyweight Copic quality white cardstock, and then I stamped the little image onto it with my black licorice hybrid ink from MFT. And then I've super sped up the coloring as usual. I didn't do anything super special this time. I kind of stuck to my standard skin colors and hair colors and kept it all simple because it's the card itself that I'm going to go into a little more detail. So I'm going to play a little bit of music through the coloring here, and then I'll be back in a minute to explain the rest of the card. Alrighty, once I was done coloring in the image, I grabbed the new square grid cover up dynamics and I die cut two pieces of heavyweight white cardstock. When I was looking at this, I was thinking they kind of remind me of like a window or French doors or something, so I thought I would create kind of a little scene card. And I cut down some Berrylicious cardstock, and then I used the old Snowdrifts dies on some sour apple cardstock to kind of create like rolling hills and the flat bottom clouds to create the clouds. And then for the back, or like the base of the card, I've got this Berrylicious cardstock that I cut to about 4 1/8 inches. And I'm going to score it here at 4 inches because I want the die cut square grid pieces to be the front of my card. And they measure 4 inches by 5 1/4. So I just trimmed down the blue cardstock for that with that little bit extra here to create something to adhere these square grids onto. So I scored it, and then I really pressed down with my scoring tool to really help bend the little spine of the card here since it's such heavyweight cardstock. And then I'm just using my 1/8 inch red line tape that I get from Jody, and it fits perfectly along all the edges of this die cut. So I'm going to apply the red line tape around all of the outside edges, and then I'm going to apply it along a little bit of the inside here. It doesn't have to be completely covered up, but I'm planning on adding a transparency to this, so I need something to adhere that to. And that's where the red line tape is perfect for this sort of a thing. So I'm going to peel off just the one side here so that I can adhere it to this little spine that I created on the card base. So I'm going to press that down really, really well, and then I'm going to add another piece of red line tape for the transparency to adhere to. So I always use my scissors to kind of peel back the plastic backing, like the red line backing, to all this adhesive. It just makes things go faster. So I'm going to peel off all of it this time. And once I get it all peeled off, I've got the transparency that I had cut down to just slightly smaller, not too much, but just under 4 inches and 5 1/4. So it's kind of hard to see what I'm doing when you're working with something transparent, but I'm going to get it lined up so that none of the edges are peeking out and it completely covers. And I've got the beginnings of this fun little window. And then I'm going to apply the red line again. This time I just went around the edges. I didn't feel the need to adhere any in the middle. Really, you could avoid that completely, but I just thought it would help kind of keep everything together a little bit more. So I only did it though along the edges for the second time. And then I grabbed that second die cut square grid and adhered that right over top. So I've got this fun little window card basically. And yeah, it was really fun and easy. Really, the longest thing that took was just adhering all that red line tape, but even that didn't take very long. So for this piece that I had trimmed down, the sour apple piece that I trimmed down and die cut with the snowdrifts, I wanted to make sure not to adhere it too far into where the spine is there so that the card easily opens and closes and doesn't catch on. So I made sure to adhere that just slightly over, and then I just used scissors to trim off the spot that was hanging over the back of the card. And then I did the same thing with the little flat bottom cloud dynamics. I trimmed one of them down with my paper trimmer and hung one over off the edge just so that everything isn't completely contained and it just looks better that way in my opinion. So added all the adhesive with my ATG adhesive and applied all the fun little clouds to the background. And then again flipped over my card and trimmed off that little bit hanging over. And then for the little Pure Innocence girl, I adhered her with the ATG adhesive as well. I didn't want to pop anything up on foam tape because otherwise that would bend the card front there. If you were to put it through the mail or something like that, I wanted everything to be really flat. And then I just grabbed a sentiment from the same set and inked it up with my black licorice hybrid ink and stamped it along the bottom of the card. And that's all there was to it. So as always, there will be a link below the video to my blog post with more info about the release. Nothing goes live until next Tuesday. So there'll be more info on that, as well as links to all the supplies used and all that fun stuff. So as always, thumbs up this video if you liked it. Thank you guys so much for watching and subscribing to them, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye!